afternoon we're going to learn how to make fried bread. And the reason why I'm doing it on here is so that we can learn how to make fried bread in class where there's no stove for me to teach you how to make fried bread. You start off with 4 cups of flour. So that's 4 cups of flour right there. And I'm just going to try it right here. And so here we go. And we're going to go with 4 tablespoons of baking powder. 4 teaspoons, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. You notice how I counted, so we can use this for math if we really want to teach a class about measurements and math. So we use 4 cups of flour and 4 tablespoons of baking powder. And I generally will go for 1 teaspoon of baking powder per cup. And I taught myself how to make this because I really like fried bread, and sometimes you would just get it here and there and not all the time, not as much as you'd like. And so I have to make a new batch because this batch is not working out the way I wanted it to. So I'm making you a new batch and starting this fresh. So we have 4 cups of flour in here and 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and we're just going to put a dash of sugar in there. So I just kind of eyeball it and do a little, maybe I would say 2 teaspoons of sugar. And then we're not going to use as much water as flour. We're just going to, and then what you do is you kind of go in eighths. See, eighths? You stir those dry ingredients really well because you don't want big clumps of baking powder. Then you kind of make a well so that when you mix the wet, it has a little hole in it, like so. And now you're going to add your water. And I kind of make it warm so that it's not like shocking the system of the baking powder, because it might shock it a little and then turn out like hockey pucks, and you really don't want it to turn into hockey pucks. You want it to be nice and soft in the middle and kind of crispy on the outside. So that's why I kind of make the water warm when I do it. And so I just put the water in, and now you just kind of stir it together. You don't want to get too crazy with it because it might get a little too hard too. So I just stir it until I can't stir it anymore, and then I start to play with it with my hands. And then I start to knead it. So I'm just gonna, I think it might be okay just to use that. So now you can just kind of knead it, but you don't want to play with it too much either, because you want it to be kind of fluffy, soft, you know? It's not like bread where you have to like knead it 14 times before you actually put it in the pan. You just want to be gentle with it and knead it to some degree. And then because I have the pan going for another batch, I'm going to turn it down a little bit because I like to let this rise a little bit. These are just garbage anyway, so I don't know why I made them. And so I'm going to turn the pan down a little and then put the new batch in. And we're going to make fried bread. I know. And you can have fried bread with like salmon. You could have it with syrup. You could have it with peanut butter and jam. It just depends on how you like to have fried bread. So this is what my fried bread looks like after I've finished kneading it. So now I'm just going to start cutting it and putting it in the pan. I don't play with it too much because you really want to just have nice fried bread that isn't puck-like. And sometimes you gotta play with it a little because you don't want it to be too gross and dry and flaky. That's for pie crusts, right? So there you have it. I fry them and then I let them fry for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. And then when I flip it over, I let it fry for another 2 or 3 minutes because you don't want it to be doughy in the middle either. And that's how you make fried bread. There's the pan. It's heated up. I have it at about between 4 to 6 on the oven. And some people actually use an electric frying pan so they can make it wherever they want to make it. And that, my friend, is the end product. And this is how you make fried bread. Thank you very much. Have a great day.